as we mentioned inside One Power headline stories them. They look at the series them. The IGR done the pool we then call tragedy of politics. We say they look at different institutions them like the state-owned enterprise them. We say one reports we then pull this bentham show see government don't loss but $1.5 billion now three state-owned enterprises them inside the last 15 years. Well, inside 2023, IGR begin for review state-owned enterprise them we now government's own business them we say then scope the cover but 20 state-owned enterprise them and then being don't they do this they don't do the first edition and pull the second edition now. We, as I mentioned earlier, the editions that they can call them all the editions now tragedy of politics. We say then they look at the performance of state-owned enterprises them. Well, we get the executive director for the Institute for Governance Reform IGR, Andrew Lavalley, for can tell we but this second edition of the study with them poll. Good morning and welcome to the program, Andrew Lavalley again.
Good morning, listeners and viewers online as well.
From the background we don't give sometime back inside last year, IGR been pulled a report to say them begin pull a series with entitled Tragedy of Politics. When I look at state-owned enterprises them, now the second edition don't come up. We say when I discover say government dollars about 1.5 billion three state-owned enterprises them in 15 years. We of course state-owned enterprises then are government institutions there or government business them where they establish for cushion government or for help government for generate, but government they lost plenty couple. But before we can look at this edition, let we look at what to make IGR and partners then decide for look at state-owned enterprises them and name and tragedy of politics.
Thank you very much. You know, what was the tragedies of politics? In fact, it get plural. Yes, it actually means some decision that they with politicians that they make we all the suffer. So inside volume 1 of state-owned enterprises, we actually look at privatization, how the decisions around privatization they make the nation suffer. And inside volume 2, what we just launched yesterday, it is show how if you take the right decision on privatization, it will make that suffering that burden them the less. So we don't see say people that can get away with it, then they compensate. Politicians that can get away with it, they compensate then supporters then. So for example, somebody don't support me, I don't win election. They talk say no, after I don't win election, you go sit on Agbaramu your checkpoint, and I know say you go build host after 2-3 years. So unfortunately, this has been the nature of politics for long. So we decided for a look at state-owned enterprises in this series. So say in 2004, Tijan Kaba of blessed memory, we decide for privatized state companies. Within our state-owned enterprises, we talk about companies like SLPNB. We talk about companies like Seratel. We talk about companies like Lotto. Then company and the 20 of them. In fact, if you get a state-owned enterprises law bill where they talk say we get for sell them one there. Within any privatization a big word. We talk say government say we're not able to manage anything here fine. We need for give her out for the private sector manager. So now that we call privatization. We realize what happened after that. They established a privatization commission, and under APC under SLPP, it is Sicilian Privatization Commission. Now, high level, highly placed politicians now they can serve there, and you can see state-owned enterprises them. Their side and the other side they generate money, and at their side and they make the biggest loss, and to some point we accrue the biggest debt. So I see when I mention in a headline, just one statement, one line we'll make in the documentary film. They actually encourage Fambulen for look at the documentary. They make rounds now, both volumes 1 and 2. We call them Tragedies of Politics. So we look at EDSA alone, inside the last 15 years, even though Sierra Leone they get better light, we don't lost past $985 million, just EDSA. Because every month you can see say with like the car power ship, the car with big bill. 7-8 million with the gift. So we calculate down the overtime. You look at the duty waivers. So between them two come, of course, Sarah tell it don't go, it don't moribund.
We look at the institutions, the way government don't lost them Kopoya and how they lost the couples then are then enterprises there also. But earlier you make mention of looking at state-owned enterprises them. I earlier ask what make Buna among plenty issues them decide for look at state-owned enterprises then and then performance.
It's important because we don't see, say, now the area that they will actually generate money and for, not only revenue for government, but by right for create jobs. And if it create jobs, it will create wealth for households and families. And not get me wrong, they talk about privatization will not just mean, say, now private sector not do the work. Because we don't see in other economies such as South Korea, South Korea, how do you call it? Singapore rather, sorry. So you see Southeast Asia, state-owned enterprises then really thrive because we a leader such as Equally, we they establish a company, for example, we they establish a transport hub. If they talk to this transport hub, they would establish with this money in the next 10 years, one for let it grow and let it be the transport hub for Southeast Asia. And then they actually get competent people then give them stiff performance benchmark. And if you not comply with that performance benchmark, they sack you. So you see, say, you get all that context with state-owned enterprise and they actually thrive and then they actually make economies grow. But in Sierra Leone, you see, say, all of them companies and they with President Kaba being privatized 20 years ago, they put on the list for privatization 20 years ago. They're not been get debt. But if you watch now, the debt upon debt we don't accrue over time. It's too much. And Musa asked a question, why would they study them? Would they study them because just this year, President Bill don't launch the medium-term development plan, whether from now on to 2030. Musa we expect for getting money then for fund. So there is no way for law getting money there for fund if the economic activities them within the country they're not strong enough for law funding then the activities in it. I mean, so if we not like right now inside with development plan, we not really get a portion where they say 30% of them money here for fund the activities that will pick in the healthcare, education, again for come up from state-owned enterprises. And we'll get for make sure, or even would they privatize the state-owned enterprises, the contribution of the private sector. Now we don't talk, say, we want to create 500,000 jobs. And then 500,000 jobs, then government already talk, say, 70% of them get for come up from the private sector.
Right.
So if we know, treat privatization seriously, and by extension, people that will not get any experience for actually manage enterprises, just because we get their support we politically, we put them at the enterprises, then we would adjust the change government like t-shirt, but we condition the change. So we decide for study this because government, we understand they actually try for review the state-owned enterprise law, the arrangement around them. So we actually do a flashback. We will do them with Ban, with Carl, them, for let we see what you for do, like for strengthening the institutions there. Inside volume 1, you actually see 3 clear areas where people can see, say, now the thing that this way they make state enterprises, then they fail. And inside volume 2, we actually take an example of a state-owned enterprise where they move from the state-owned enterprise and then privatize. We see the return way we'll get on the hand.
All right. Inside this report, on a pool, look at different institutions. Them Saratel, Road Transport Corporation, EDSA, Lotto, SLPMB, and few others. Now, let we take them step by step. For Saratel, what thing go wrong? We make this institution able to stand.
I remember we've been small, Saratel have been not only the go-to area, in fact, but before I go to your question, when we've been young, state-owned enterprises necessarily be actually effective in many ways, because you see most of the asset then with Sierra Leone get inside London. Now SLPMB, the profit will be get some Sierra Leone produce marketing board. Now will be used for invest they follow by then the asset and they host all the high commission will get it. So your question really right as to what make then institutions and they fail. So you get three responses then with the inside volume one. The first one, that in the first place there is no commitment to privatization, because society commitment to privatization, you actually get timeline, and you develop a proper competition law saying now so people can get for compete for this, and if we don't compete now, so with the guide the private sector competition within the space. So we see say there was no commitment. What we see, their asset then they too often are the asset then they sell to other institutions. So for example, we see say asset we meant for government corporation, a state-owned enterprise, they can quietly sell into private sector institutions because there was no commitment, say one law privatized. So then they actually lock in the state-owned, the asset of the state-owned enterprise, then they gradually settle. When we see SLPMB, for example, SLPMB now they sell them warehouse now. Most of the asset then across the country, they sell them to private cocoa exporters. The one really interesting are the one at Clienttown. You can see another thing where the SLPMB actually sell in warehouse na Clienttown. Then just within that same Clienttown by the port, it go rent one small store. And in fact, then they make SLPMB now the least cocoa exporter, not in Sierra Leone in general. I mean, I know compare to other cocoa exporters in the country. So then at one point about the weak commitment to privatization. And too often we can use then state company then they for finance politics. So, and because of that, they will not really get good performance benchmark. And the third one, the third one we mentioned by one of our colleagues in the film, you see say the state for really try first and foremost for reduce corruption. Because if there is corruption within the state, that language they go inside, and it actually count to we NGOs then, that mode of operation will go to private sector as well. If I were a full barometer look at corruption figures, in 2014, for example, we realized say by 2013, at that time they were state-owned banks then, Rokel Commercial Bank, Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, they almost don't collapse by 2013 for the same reasons we don't show, because now a place for finance politics, you see say within two banks and they collapse, most of them bad debtors were politicians or people that were aligned with politics. So in fact, we see the Bank of Sierra Leone, just one debtor, it almost take like $20 million. We make them banks and the banking sector may get problems around that same time.
All right.
So politics, the way they use their enterprises then they for finance politics, it's better now because it used to be very, very bad. So now it makes some of them and then they affect. So we get for Singapore and other countries and they succeed because they actually reduce corruption to the barest minimum, because that's still what where the state gets. Now they extend to other institutions.
All right, still get to do with politics now. So main institution them over the past year, we don't see government after government they appoint people them for head certain key important institution them we suppose for generate revenue for government, and anytime we any president can come, you can see he appoint this certain person for head this side, despite at times people can question the credibility on either the skills and knowledge of that particular individually. Now in any way, politics, as you mentioned, don't they unbog some of the institution they by appointing certain people within a certain political party?
Definitely, because for let you manage a state-owned enterprise or an enterprise in general, you actually need to get a certain experience in managing private sector, in delivering results in the private sector, even at the public sector in delivering results. We can actually see somebody we get any background for deliver any results, be it private sector, be it public sector. It take then give them the appointment then. So in fact that makes somebody cynically talk at the time when they do the interviews. He say some of them company they are the one that way they make the appointment there and then get and bring not so then kind of people that them with the appointment at them places then they. So I think say if you watch the film, the Center for Accountability and the Rule of Law director Carl, he mentions say if we not get performance standards, I don't know if any of una senior journalists them, but I don't know if una know about any performance standards for any of the state-owned enterprises and parastatals. Waiting they get for meat, how are they assessed? Waiting at the benchmark with they for meat, because if you don't meet certain benchmark, you should be fired. We actually look like what they review Lotto, for example. We realize that the state lottery, Sierra Leone are the only place who shall see state lottery they record losses, because the way you do Lotto, state lottery or lottery, now they set the odds and call and setting the odds. So if not 100 million kinds of people then play, now they talk say this week here now 5 million and they win 95 million really now for profit. So if you the losses per lottery, then you they see at any time the last budget hearing, 2 budget hearings now, you they see the manager they go they talk say a company don't they loss, but I really want to let you more salaries from the people then.
No.
So I think that is really concerning.
Now, let me look at the National Commission for Privatization we government established on November 2002 with the aim of honor for privatize and reform public enterprises them. This body don't exist, and the current chairperson for that commission now Dr. Prince Alex Harding. 2 years back inside budget discussion, one of the promise he give to the media now for develop a matrix for look at performance of state-owned enterprises them and government intervene for make them more vibrant. In this una report, una capture any efforts from the NCP, National Commission for Privatization, for ensure say them provide the oversight or provide the guidance for the enterprises here so for make them reach the heights with them for reach.
So you don't see that progress on that. You know, so as a seasoned journalist in Sierra Leone, I think so you've already been tell the public, because we know they see them. The reality is, and this with the talk say there is no clear commitment to privatization. So we say you get commitment to privatization and you get clear performance benchmark. A lot of talk say you know I'm privatize. If you want to keep as a state-owned enterprise, you want for let it competes very well with the private sector, because I know they really support for let state-owned enterprises, they manage companies, for let government really manage companies. In fact, you can see that in the inside volume 2 of this series. Because with politics is such that you will not able to get politicians for let them manage their entities and with the vulture from their entities for finance politics or for reward people.
Now we look at the person we hold the position for the moment. We now Dr. Alex Prince Harding, he mentioned just now say now highly placed politicians then hold some of them position in the current chairman of the Salon People's Party. And the first term of President Bill, we see he hold that position. And second term of President Bill, we see then raise up the profile of the office to cabinet rank.
Exactly.
You think say it based on performance, or is it just based on this person high ranking somebody at the party? If you never go to chairman Louis Gandis, then back go to go cabinet.
No, if you not, in fact, beyond Prince Harding, let you know if you feel say with the pick on him.
No, now in the current holder of the position, we now look at the offices.
Let me just finish. Beyond in law, not just feel say with the pick on him. Most holders of this position, the Commission for Privatization, under both APC and SLPP, they are highly placed party officials. So this really begs the question, the commitment to politics. So you see say, you get high placed political party officials, they hold that position, but they translate into results. Why will not they get performance benchmark? Why will not they actually get performance benchmark? Will not they actually get results from them companies? And yet we have highly placed political party officials. Now that make a lekuna headline when I say in the past 15 years, just from 3 entities, we don't lost over $1.5 billion.
We did a pick on Prince Harding, but in the Privatization Commission now, and if they raise onto cabinet rank, that means more is expected. But when we look at one enterprise, we almost done the die out in Asaratel. Some time back, the the post wey bin dey head Saratel bin actually tell 98.1c it was 3 months or 4 months. He say if government not come and bail this institution out, he say Saratel dey die. That was Fodes Sanko then. Since he go on leave, he not come back. Is it that sometimes the people who the head their enterprise are not competent or their hands then tied, not for say wetin really dey happen for make them salvage the situation?
You know wetin would they see? Would they actually see the bad cases then, and you get some other cases then we will not actually put in the film. But Sierra Leone largely will lack good corporate governance, and we say corporate governance weak. I mean, say for example, if we take Leku banks, Musa. So if we take Leku banks for example, will banks then get shareholders, but waiting at the returns of them, the shareholders, the investment to the one that to the money then, they see say it very very small because Sierra Leone largely lack corporate governance standards. So now that one the affects Seratel, it affects all of the enterprises then we would look at. So I only hope there will be like an audit, an integrity audit of the institutions and they foresee how then they comply to corporate governance standards. The importance of this is beyond then conversation I would make. It's difficult for you get anybody for actually taking money, say, they go invest in banks. Because you not shareholder, you don't put money. Now small money they get in terms of return on the shares. Because the standards of managing their institutions and they not compliant with corporate governance standards. Seratel take an advanced stage of decomposition, but you can actually take Road Transport Corporation as well. If you look inside the video, it actually shows, would they always buy bus? We don't buy past 300 buses, but we cannot. Seratel not get capacity for replenish the buses using the transport fee as well. SLR, using the transport fee as well.
SRTC rather.
Sierra Road Transport Corporation. Sorry. So you they see if we not get proper corporate governance standards, and of course this beg the question. We ban Budget Advocacy Network in comment in that documentary film. We say there is no real commitment to privatization. You cannot say I don't put a law in 2002. I get for privatize. Then you keep the entities, then they sell them by part, sometimes secretly. Right. And sometimes when something is lucrative, say, Lord, sell this out. So the question we will for really ask, why we not committed to privatization? And the volume 2 actually they try for it lay out the incentive. So if we privatize this and this really ain't go be to as a way of benefits.
Continue for the with inside the program in Emna Andrew Lavalina, the executive director for IGR. We'll go for a break. Oka will talk to the other studio guests inside the program. Good morning, Saloon. We continue inside the program now with the Kanto, the other studio guests. We are the Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education, Bokari Abdel Aziz Bawo. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Radio Democracy.
Good morning.
I think from where President appoint you, Radio Democracy don't be the first station we can, right?
No, I don't go. SABC.
Okay. Firstly, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Position. For somebody with a listen and maybe not know who that na you. Firstly, you would start for tell listeners who that's na Bokari Abdel Aziz Bawo.
Bokari Abdel Aziz Bawo, na Israelian to start with. All of my time, I don't Israeli. 10K school, Government Secondary School, Kenima. Get me first and second degree at Jala University College. Student teacher or lecturer, I'm a Timagai, teach extensively in a Vine Memorial before I joined the corporate world. I start with Roque Commercial Bank, Go First International Bank, IFAD, Defense for Children, Wet Hunger, before I can government. Before my appointment, I be the director for economic sector and the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate in the Office of the President. Now I'm the Deputy Information Minister and Civic Education.
Okay, according to which you don't work in a plenty institution them, and that shows that a lot of experience don't they. What new you go come with at the ministry this time around?
As a deputy minister, I'm not coming with anything new. I'm coming to be the auxiliary, and it can be auxiliary to the substantive minister for execute the mandate as proposed by His Excellency the President. My role na for support Chernobyl, for see how best the vision of the President for creating this new ministry with a Ministry of Information and Civic Education. We will roll out a mandate properly.
Now, when you look at this office, initially, that being Minister of Information and Communication, now Minister of Information and Civic Education, you've been the second deputy minister to this new office. You get a role for play. But for somebody who they listen to you now, how you go support the minister, as you self mentioned, and the communication setup of government for cascade government messages them across the country?
Like I rightly say, there is a reason why the president try for divorce the information from communication and try for add civic education. We all will attest over the time, information dissemination become a little bit challenged. When you add communication and information, communication gets a lot of things for deal with corporate institutions management, providing oversight for, like where they say, Seratel, Orange, this and that. So it will occupy a lot of the time for the minister. But when you limit the ministry to information, we will provide the oversight for, now make sure, say, correct information, meet the people in a timely manner, so that we not get the opportunity for let rumor dictate what they happen to people. Adding civic education speaks to a lot of things we my colleague they talk about. We need for rebrand the Sierra Leone identity, rebrand with mindset, diverse with daily activities from politics. So that when somebody is given a responsibility, you know, say I'm a Sierra Leonean and I'm serving Sierra Leone. So it is not because I not belong to this party, if they give me position, I want undermine that. It is not because I belong to this political party. If I'm giving a responsibility, I know say if I do anything, they're not going to sack me.
So are we don't Alex, since your appointment into this office, we say go replace the now press secretary?
Well, from what I don't come, me boss, I mean already it don't scan the ministry for look at the ministry in mandate with respect to the existing structures. Do SWOT analysis on all the institutions where we supposed for supervise. We'll also do a management functional review on the system for look at whether there are some institutions we will continue for carry or we let them go and pay attention to really waiting information and civic education supposed to mean.
Whose value will they add into the communication structure? Information structure within government or now the ministry?
The value I add, I come with a lot of corporate experience.
Okay.
I mean an education specialist. And I'm an specialist, and when you talk about monitoring and evaluation, you want to look at what is the impact produced by every action we take. The civic education is very key to the current setup at the ministry. I mean an educationist. I want to see how we will use civic education for increased citizens' responsibility to the state. And women boss, I think that they are put to her. That's we therefore divide the portfolio. While somebody is very much visible in information dissemination, the other pay attention to civic education.
So Usa, you want actually pay attention?
Anytime a boss send me.
Anytime boss send you. Yeah. Being Minister of Information or Deputy Minister of Information, you get for the on public forum them for defend government actions them, communicate government policies and strategies them. You say you come up from that corporate world where perhaps it's just behind the scene, but now you come to the public front. How you don't adjust yourself for reach that reality?
And that is what university education they provide, diversity. A lot of people we see in civic, say the civil society world, not necessarily means when they go to university that they go read. But along the line, you develop a career pathway.
Okay.
And she said, this is where I have my strength and I can go this way.
All right. When you start, you mentioned about rebrand the mindset of Salone people and save the country. How on a plan for towards the ministry?
Well, my initial engagement with my boss was like, you don't do very well. In the sense, with daily press briefing at the ministry now, where they bring journalists, bring people where they occupy spaces, MDAs. They ask them questions about what they do with respect to the places where they head. The next thing I really lay emphasis on is direct community engagement with people. Because as you know at the talk, yeah, you don't necessarily mean so why is at the talk now? Somebody not gay madam, somebody not pitiful, but they listen me. But when you go meet her, now in village, now in community, and tell her what's your responsibility as a citizen, that direct communication with her, direct engagement, I think it will go a long way for getting the correct information and for increasing your responsibility to the state.
All right. Information key in any society, as you mentioned, because if citizens they don't get the right information, at times they can go with the wrong information. So how una don't they work with other ministries then, so that una within in charge will get the right information to pass on to the public?
Fortunately, I would say fortunately, we say Abedi Force, now the National Monitoring Evaluation Directorate. We roll and we look at all which in government they do and report to the president. So from that point, I know everything almost with all MDAs they do. So my first engagement with the minister Nadande El-Salah, we have a responsibility to know and communicate everything with other MDAs they do. Because one of the experiences we get while I was working with NAMED was government they do a lot of things in our community. But you go there, even the farmer chief will tell you, say, I don't know, what's the apple? Meaning, when they do more than what they talk to the people about. So, I think saying Nayana want increase for really collate all the information, then bring it to the people.
All right. Continue for the waiting inside the program in name na Bokari Abdal Aziz Bawoina, the Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education. We'll go for a break. We'll go talk to other studio guests and we'll have
.1 FM. Inside the program, we bring our come to you today. Musa Kamana Minim.
My name is Usman Kamara.
If you join the join, remember say today we get the Executive Director for IGR, Andrew Lavallée. Inside the program, they talk about the findings. One of the key highlights inside the findings that the government dollars $1.5 billion in the last 15 years. Now, 3 state-owned enterprises them we include EDSA. And also we get the Deputy Minister for Information and Civic Education inside the program we just listened to. Inside the program, Good Morning Salon, we continue to look at more issues. We go with the Director of Higher Education and the Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Emmanuel Jimomo. Don't call on public university staff them for begin work back after we confirm say governments don't settle them concern we then strike for. They talk this inside one interview to the Democracy where even they talk about the strike we staff them now public university then being start some time back. Well, it talk more to me inside this interview.
They write a letter to the ministry that therefore go on industrial strike and they be notified. So we are aware.
Would that them they now this letter we then go on this industrial strike?
Now USA na Union of Academic Staff Association. And then actually writes then all the members then of them or public universities they come together they form an umbrella body where they call USA. So now they begin for right to the ministry.
What are some of the things them we then tell una say then they strike for?
Then therefore, let me tell we say then the strike for the payment of severance benefit. And then the strike for the lecturers and where they be done they promote over the years where not get payment for reflect the promotion. And then we also say then the strike for the payment of SLG backlog to them. So those are the issues them actually what them saying the strike for.
The issue also, is it varied from university to other university, or now just a uniform problem they all been getting present to the ministry?
Yeah, Musa, I will tell you say not to a uniform problem. This now it actually vary from one institution to the other. When you talk of payment of severance benefit, University of Sierra Leone not go be affected by that. Jala University not go be affected by that. What are these severance benefits go affect? Now the one them we don't move, we then recently make them universities. Like Eastern Polytechnic then, now Eastern Technical University. Mitimagai Teachers College then, now Mitimagai Technical University. Freetown Teachers College then, now Freetown Polytechnic. And also Anes by Kuruma University. So that one then the severance benefit they actually apply to. When it comes to actually payment of lecturers, where they be done they promote them over the years, where they pay them, then you get for look at Jala University and University of Sierra Leone. So now take this issue of severance benefit. Now, because you know be a polytechnic, now they don't transform you into a university. That money we government don't pay. The institution they do the needful for pay the one them will be affected. You be done the teach. That time the way that be a polytechnic, way that be a teachers college. Now we don't come to technical university. A left with the university administration now for say yes, we they pay the severance benefits, we they pay you off, and then we finish with you. But the university can still pay you that money where government don't send now into the account. The university can take that money and still pay you and look at your qualification. If you are qualified to come on board as lecturer now in the university, not in the polytechnic again, then they will say, okay, we have to consider reappointing you fresh, and a fresh case. We'll appoint you now.
You don't explain the different problems and with the different public universities then get where them don't inform una say then they are on industrial strike. As we talk now, what's in the latest on this issue?
Through the Bank of Sierra Leone, government be don't pay this money as so. Yesterday, government the money be don't pay from Bank of Sierra Leone through then individual accounts them. And we have called all heads of the institution them, they all don't confirm say that money don't hit their account.
The money don't hit their account. How much money would they talk about now where government don't pay to then several institutions that are so in ballpark figure? Totally.
Well, actually, I not go want for comment on that because, because the money really, talk not to the same money where they go to University of Sierra Leone, not to that kind of money they go to Eastern Technical University or to Jala University. So for now, I not go actually want for disclose the quantum of money where government don't pay, but they have confirmed to us that the money don't actually hit there.
Is it that now all the problems that una don't solve so all together or now by phases una solve?
Well, the waiting you don't ask me say waiting them be saying they strike for. I don't highlight the issues and we then strike for. And are there issues then they actually government don't try? They be trying to say for the conditions of service. And the conditions of service and they now have been talk about payment, backlog payment of those who they don't promote over the years so they not be they get the money. They want them wait for the severance benefits, for moving from teachers college to technical university, and they want them one from SLG, payment of SLG, backlog payment. So these are the issues actually where government don't try for address.
Everything is now settled.
Yes.
All together, all the issues have been solved by
obviously.
Government. Somebody go ask why the Minister of Technical and Higher Education get for wait till they reach this level, or the lecturers then reach this level before them pay.
Government all over the world get challenges. More especially when it comes to monetary matters, and not to lecturers and no more government they take care of. Government they take care of different sectors. So you see, so if government don't say wait small, I get for settle you, you get for show understanding, you get for because not to government like Nakumbra, not to more you get for pay. Other sectors and the government they pay. Look,
so what you like expect
challenge
next? After una don't pay them money and some
we they expect say now what they be don't strike for, I believe say UESA go actually get a reason now for call off the strike action, because we have students where they wait for take examination, we get students them where they wait for congregation, we get students them where they wait for matriculation. So I believe say they don't get every justification, because the part of government has been fulfilled. So now they young side will look at now for make them go call off the strike action.
Well, that's the Director of Higher Education at the Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Emmanuel J. Momo. They confirm, say, governments don't settle the concern of lecturers them from the public university them, which I say they don't pay the money within they ask for, and they ask them for call up the strike. Well, Radio Democracy try to get from the Union of Academic Staff of Public Universities for confirm some of them money are, if they don't receive them at all, and when they call up the strike, but will not get person for talk to on this issue. The program na Good Morning Saloon, it can to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM.
Inside the program now, we come over to his other studio guests, Wayne and Ulavali. As they have to talk about the report we then pull do. Now, inside the report, as I mentioned earlier, you get different institutions them we wanna look at, but another key institution we over the past year don't they get challenged na EDSA. Waiting so far on a fan out.
So I think I don't state them, but let I just repeat them. So actually, it's a documentary film, not a written report. So all to then seriously as strategies of politics, not documentary films, and we don't realize say work in produce reports. Not all man can get time for read them. Not all man can able to read them. But in 10 minutes or 6 minutes, if you pack all that information in one film, a lot of people then they get access to them. So we talk about EDSA, and one of the things, a lot of homes then they actually get challenges with electricity. And one of the key findings that how much you don't already spend. In fact, we ban they argue in that film say that money we don't spend $585 million, almost $1 billion. In fact, it will pass 1 billion if we actually add now duty-free concessions that we don't get. But in terms of which the money no more they take, say every month you go give to ship with not to you. $985 million. It's quite a lot. And so states they will not able to get sustainable electricity. So it's the way enterprises are being managed, yes, Musa.
So EDSA they are among the institutions them
Yes.
this scope.
Yeah.
What's in the scope of the findings for EDSA? I mean the time limits, time frame.
So now we talk. So we look at EDSA within the last 15 years.
But in the last 15 years, EDSA not been there.
No, which I mean electricity.
Okay,
So we just look
electricity supply only when I look at that.
Yeah.
And the ship now one when I look into
Yes,
how
yeah.
much in when I findings Salon don't spend on the ship in the last 5 or 6, 7 years since the ship
we
came back.
cannot disaggregate, but in terms of electricity expenditure. But in fact, the ship now carry the vast of the expenditure. So if you take, like for example, if we spend $6-7 million every month, you multiply that by 12, you multiply that by the number of years where the ship don't take.
Okay.
You will actually see the staggering figures so it gets
Right.
running into hundreds of millions of dollars.
Still get for do with EDSA. Is it that EDSA CSF no get proper structure in place we make up till now, as a country we find it difficult for get access to light?
This report not look at the functionality of EDSA. We look at state-owned enterprises in general. So EDSA have just one spotlight. We'll not do a deep dive. So definitely I will be handicapped for let you actually go into EDSA and operations.
When I actually look at challenges of some of them state-owned enterprises here, so
In general, yes.
because EDSA, when you talk to EDSA, when they present them budget every year, they tell you about how government self own EDSA. Buildings like you building, you they see sometime back, Guma Valley, they close service on them. You they see EDSA, they raise concern. Government buildings in particular, they know they raise concern. They need to buy, they need to pay for lights and also water. And most times, government need to do business to itself.
No,
They
that-
see insurance coming in, government, but government vehicles being insured by private institutions. When I in any way look at the challenge of the state-owned enterprises here,
So all of that they fall inside that broad category to talk about the politicization of institutions. If not private sector, they operate, and that private sector they deliver services to any building. You know, they get there's a possibility, say, you know, with a either you take that bill, then people and they to court for letting pay you money, or you find a way for let you do something about your debt. But over and beyond government owing ETSA, we take a lot of things about you if you look the cost of electricity, the unit cost of electricity, it's almost unaffordable for let you get that car power ship. The unit cost of the megawatt we they pay for, as opposed to if we take that same money, they will develop a dam. We now like we will pay like 10 cents per megawatt. In this way, I would get around 24 cents. It's almost unsustainable. On top of that, the back if we talk about government taking loan and not get without paying in terms of electricity bills. So there is quite a lot. But like I say, we'll not actually delve into the economics of energy inside ETSA. We look at broadly state-owned enterprises then.
All right. So at this point, as a country, what do we need for do as we, for handle a lot of the issues them where this documentary highlight?
So in fact, you will see all of that, most of that inside volume 2, because volume 1 actually paints most of the problems, the challenges them. Then volume 2 talks if government actually, get other partners, other players, especially the private sector, for let it help. It can help. So we take, for example, one entity when telecoms, we managed by a private sector, we in a Zoot Labs, and the same one facility managed by a government entity, when a SALCAP, say there is this Africa to Europe coastal, fiber cable, the same way the fiber cable land. With the fiber cable land with loan from World Bank, $30 million for Salo manage the fiber cable. And why then the important in the sense that it can make internet cheaper, and they make it affordable, and they make it efficient and faster. So World Bank give that $30 million. Government and be the manager first. We call them Zoot Labs. They call them SALCAP. Under SALCAP, see what happen. Apart from the $30 million, SALCAP go back a loan because of bad management. A loan $500,000 in we look at banking system. Then they pay tax. We look at the tax. What's no more? The tax we then owe to NRA. Now $4.8 million. When you watch, waiting for give NATCA in terms of fees, they're not be they pay NATCA in terms of fees. But with Zoot Lab can from 2020, after the takeover don't happen, the difference in the documentary says like day and night. Zoot Lab they pay $1.8 million to government every year. Because government itself by 2020 realized this one this SALCAB remain not the work, and SALCAB not go able only generate profit, but you're not going to make back or pay the money we owe to the World Bank. And you see, say if you collect now $1.8 million over 15, 16, 17 to 20 years, you will able to pay that the concession period real longer. Let me just finish this point. When you watch back the money they pay to NRA, then the Zoot Lab they pay regularly to NRA. Not that Zoot Lab is a perfect company, but it's one perfect example of how private sector can cover the slack. Now imagine say all of them companies there, you actually been privatize them. Then you get that which you call privatization commission. It actually become the regulator where they enforce a competition law and it care about services. In fact, waiting day in that volume 2, we realize the under Zoot Lab, the price of megabytes from them now to the service providers, it don't reduce from $40 to $10. So as a matter of fact, the documentary, the team was silent about where I think we need to talk openly about. By right now, the prices of megabytes to the last mile for reduced. Because with fiber optic, because of better management, then prices they don't reduce. At that level, from Zoot Lab now to the ISPs, then to the independent service providers.
How that they possible, Andrew Lavalley, when the telecoms company they run by private sector and the aim of any business now for make profits.
Okay.
Now we get Saratel. We reflect or wanna look or review inside this report. When one of the institutions them we government they lost plenty couple. When them come with floor price and other measures them, when the public raise concern, the Ministry of Information say this now strive for protect the companies them for make them not die out. Somebody ask, why is it governments they put skills for protect private enterprises they make them not die, but that kind of skill they not give to Saratel for make it survive?
Musa, I know they talk about telephone, I talk about internet. I try for talk about. Let me finish.
Yeah, but if Saratel sell them into the telecom business,
no. I know you talk not different. You actually compare apples and oranges. So what they say, the internet, that fiber optic, we government take $30 million from World Bank for let him manage, and under them internet service is bad under SALCAP. The internet cost high because we talk about the wholesale cost. The wholesale cost now waiting SALCAP they sell to service providers. That wholesale cost they don't drop. Now they talk about from $40 to $10, 300% reduction in price. So as a matter of fact, then service providers and they now, and they try for talk about mobile phone companies. As a matter of fact, now then then they sell. Who say they get internet from? Who say they get internet from? You get homes and then now you get service providers where they sell internet to the homes and they. We expect say that last mile user, because of that drop in price as a result of efficiency in the management of internet fiber assets, if we reduce them prices and then now they talk about the telephone management.
I continue for the with me inside the program. I'll cover too quickly the Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education. You don't really concern and other issues them where Mr. Lavalley, mentioned from government angle. We do not think about some of the issues there where the report where IGR pull not do.
For let somebody do research, a lot of money where they put into it. One of the problems we Africa generally get is we know our fund research. We know they do too much research. So anytime somebody spend money for the research, whatever findings you get for force. Commend them for the efforts for go after information and bring the information. I just get a few things like appointments in the institutions. Sometimes the president for just nominate. You go to parliament, they look at this person, he's a Sierra Leonean, he get the experience, he not get criminal record, they approve you. So it is not just about the government, even parliament believe say this Sierra Leonean, if we give this responsibility, say they deliver. If then give you go sit on there, you think say I'm not for do anything, it is also our own responsibility. Take it away from which government get the appointment. Let us look at the individual and say why. Most of the institutions, the private sector, what they talk about, not to other people that did, as Sierra Leoneans did it. So if somebody did like where the colleague they talk, Zulad, they do very well. Why if it is SALCAP, they don't for do well? You are running a state-owned institution, you defend money for government. And I don't make government, they keep them in it. There are some services, government not just one privatizer because of one, how you define that service. So it keep it to himself for better the service to the people. Because if you left in a private sector, perhaps it will be expensive. These are sometimes the thoughts we government get when they make a whole some of their institutions. But if it give Israelina for runner, then I think say as a citizen, if I compete with the private sector, say, even though this now government business, but I compete with the other people then. That's one thing. My colleague also talked about appointing or giving cabinet rank to the head of NCP. Based on the job requirement of that person, yeah, even first, now the Minister of Information will supervise NCP with the honor. But now it supervise a very huge landscape for government. If this person does not go to cabinet to answer to questions, sometimes by year in day, Not always minister will go respond to queries about whether you are performing or not. So when they give cabinet rank to that person, now for let the cabinet, the president, get the opportunity for legislature can and answer some queries. Not just like compensation, it just increase your responsibility to the state. That not to just minister who come talk about how you perform now. You said will go face the fire now before the president. That is
Any change don't happen na this sector since he moved to cabinet rank?
well, how long they don't get the cabinet rank?
6
And there has
months.
been no review.
Okay.
So without the empirical evidence, I can't make a judgment. Like where Andrew do a thorough work and come with this report. If somebody take now a comparative study from when he was not with a cabinet rank to when he is now and bring the record, then you can judge. But if I just say now, no, what are the reference?
Now, you say when he did to Zudla be to do well, when he did Salcab be to do well, is it based on competencies of them people where they manage the institutions are, or the bottleneck in managing government institutions?
What are these
So you think it's an
bottlenecks?
issue?
What I'm saying here is the people within Azula are still Sierra Leoneans. The people within a SACAP, we are Sierra Leoneans. So if the same Sierra Leoneans can do it at Zulab, why for Ibudua na SACAP?
Most of them state-owned enterprises, they raise concern about government owning them. No, they pay them. And most of the biggest debtors then are government in the state-owned enterprises there also. You somebody will come up from the Minister of or Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education. That comes in the civic for talk to the institutions there also, but then state-owned enterprise for one do business with them and when do business with them, pay them. Who stand on they take now in the ministry?
Even with my previous position, now National Monitoring Evaluation Directorate, I will sit now the budget hearing. And one thing where Ministry of Information be very clear on is when they present budget, what you owe. So every state-owned institution, I force they declare. So when I give you subvention, if for settle, they never stop anybody for court because everybody they go show say, now this person owe me, and at this I owe this person. On a square of somebody pay your balance. So if Seratel, you owe Seratel, in back owe you. ETSA can owe Seratel owe ETSA. During the year, when I able square of would get balance for pay a pay. But nobody know they say not go after possible for pay you. That's not a good business. But sometimes again, even NCP, no one privatize everything. Because anytime you privatize, it gets consequence on job creation. People most lost job. And when people lost job, now government.
Right.
So for like take that decision and say, let's privatize this institution. Quite apart from every other thing they look at, how many people get for lost job. And the institution where they privatize sometimes say, you not get that money it for pay off people that benefit. So that's the reason why sometimes government they drag in food for just privatize.
All right. You mentioned say it's especially Salcap and Zudlab. Most of them na Sierra Leone and them don't work na then two company there. So waiting they go wrong, we make then same salon people are working in the institution, they not able to manage them unless they privatize them.
That is where we have to increase our civic education. Yeah. If you defend money for somebody, we get for take this money to another country. And the government charge you with the responsibility for defend money for your own country. That same effort where they put in when they work for the private sector, you forget time where they work for the state enterprise. I don't happen for work either way, like the private sector and for government institutions. We attitude to government are very poor. We attitude to country are very poor. Because somebody just thinks government as something where they exist in their mind. It not belong to ourselves. You understand? Because if you see somebody to work for an institution, you say, government not do this it. Who is this government? Every the time when they go work, you will see somebody go take 3 hours in the office and they do nothing. And they even evaluate himself. For this day work I work today with your land. How productive am I? For private sector, you don't do that. I remember we I mean, work First International Bank. I was forced for work pre-day. When the boss called me, he said, "I'm going back." I said, "You know, say today pre-day." He said, "Yes." I said, "For go take money." Customer don't call for go take money. I said, "I pre-day." I said, "For go take money pre-day for work out." I said, "I not get security." He said, "So what do you want? Let them take that money, they deposit at other side. You know, say what affect your salary." I was forced. But if I be government institution, nobody will even care for call you. You know, say if you call yourself in Nairobi, you say, "Hey, at the holiday." You know why? Sometimes our commitment to the country, now we just need for up a little bit.
All right. Continue further with me inside the program, Mr. Bawo. We did take one of the headlines to read them inside the program this morning. Osai, President Julius Madabio said the Sapco Fishing Company Sardine Factory, where it open go help support government vision for give work to about 500,000 people in the country by 2028. President Bio talk this way go pull nado the Sapco Sardine in vegetable oil and chili factory nado. Also President Bio continue say this na the first factory we don't begin for make sardine in the country. You know Kabia gets more and gonna report.
I feel honored and privileged and very happy for launch the Sapco Fishing Company's operation in Sierra Leone, and they left the company in our hand so that next year they come and I will give me good testimonies. Thank you.
President Julius Madabio been the pull nado the Sapco Sardine, where the Sapco Fishing Company don't begin making a salon, and this na the first company we don't begin make sardine na the country, and the first na West Africa. And according to this company, about 70% of the people where they work there na salon people. Abel Sabag, now the managing director for Sapco Fishing Company, talk more about this.
This business venture was born as Sabag Supermarket in Bow City. By request of customers, we started buying fish to retail by kilo in the supermarket. As business progressed, we attracted more customers and started supplying to agents within the southern province. In 2013, Sapco Fishing Company made a strategic decision to expand its operation to the vibrant, dynamic fishing hub of Kisii Freetown. Due to constraints from suppliers in not meeting supply deadline and the desire to meet demand of our customers, we were obliged to get 8 fishing vessels from our Chinese partners to support our growing market. With these vessels, we noticed that herring was one of the highest catch in all seasons. We now welcome the expansion to Jui, Freetown.
And continue for talk about how this sardine different from other sardine them.
Sapco sardines are a result of meticulous sourcing, sustainable fishing practices, and a state-of-the-art processing technology. We understand the importance of delivering not just a product, but an experience. The commitment of Sapco Fishing Company to provide you with nothing but the best. Our sardines are not just about taste, they carry with them a legacy of craftsmanship, a commitment to sustainability, and the expertise honed over 2 decades in the industry. Sapco sardines are more than just a commodity. For us, they're a symbol of trust, reliability, and the relentless pursuit of excellence because of the process it took to develop and ensure the quality we believe our product carries.
Princess Duba, now the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, been talk about how this sardine important to the fishing sector in the country.
Today, I'm happy to see this leadership and guidance role producing the good result of the establishment of a fish canning factory by a Sapco Fishing Company. The importance of this factory cannot be overemphasized, as it will increase the shelf life of our fishery products and increase fish availability, accessibility, and affordability.
Where in the pool nado the Sapco sardine, the President Julius Madabio say this na one part in government's plan them for deliver by a flagship program when a feed salon.
If we're not glad, me are glad for dinner this occasion. Why I say so now because this is a very important day in our effort to deliver on a flagship pillar of my government's medium-term national development plan, the Feed Salon Initiative. When my government initiated the Feed Salon program, many perceived that to focus only on rice production for very obvious reasons, because Boma na we staple food in this country. Not so. We say we say fish salon na rest no more. Saloma in Boma we won't get problem na for make sure they not get and I make our men not get enough. And we for work together, not one man they work for make enough rice sale. For me, the launch of this Sapco fishing company, which we focus on the manufacturing and sale of sardines, is a critical step towards that objective. You don't see where would they eat sardine? Morocco. I want for challenge Sapco now, and we are all for make Salon very soon overtake Morocco for be the largest producer. We are the first in West Africa and also what we for increase with market share.
The president been talk about how government and safe people for support this company for CC, then do them work find one at the country.
This Sapco, then I invest and don't invest. The success, it depends on now. It depends on we government. And me, the team up and assure them, before every one of them say, everything where they want to do for make sure say, Sapco go before. We, government, go support them. And when I say, whether it says company they succeed, you can get your bad habit. We got plenty bad habit there in this country. For taking away not to we own, we just feel say, that man that part they get plenty money. We they take sardine every day we they carry and go home. We they thief and they tin them. That one day they end the poor company. Anything we plenty, anytime we pull one day, it they reduce. Then don't put the money inside. But for me this succeed, now wuna. They get what they call organizational culture. Una for this see this as a family. Una where they work now.
President Bio same way so say this sardine factory where they don't open go help support government's vision for give work to about 500,000 people na the country by 2028.
In line with my government's job creation strategy that seeks to create 500,000 jobs by 2028, I want to encourage SAPCO to prioritize the employment of women and youth, which has already been alluded to, and I can see a lot of that, more of women and youth. Now, wuna we the faithful. When we can talk say we don't want halala. If halala, then when I say this man they can't put money in here. Nobody know put money in a fire. Nobody know to do that. Even the billionaire they know do that. And he not a billionaire. Then they go to a bank, then take money. They get for pay interest. We get for keep we country safe and peaceful.
President Julius Madabio end up say government ready for support the Sapco fishing company for CCA. Then do them work find one and self been call on the private sector for invest in the fishing sector in the country so that Salon go to benefit from the resources them when then they get na the sea. For Radio Democracy, Kabia the report.
The morning again, the way the man, the way that is I take you to country, I take a one in town, man, I take a strong game. I think I come people that see long. I say them get that themselves, I say what them to make them government office them. I say for less from man pack no office stay. It's like prison and bamboo and get out. I say them can get them balls on the man. You know say now journalists they don't book. Now so reaching target. This that exceed the target and get the grammar they wouldn't use. But then they use word that grammar wouldn't say that transform. Now they say I say volume big down there and the office there where people can call so. I say the exceeding target and so man triple in target. And for man at each office, so if it transform the office, I say why we not the free ambo? Why not from journalists of social media no more the free and and some 2-3 people we don't decide say journalism na the recommend